I'm just watching those numbers creep up year after year. At what point do we become, you know, a community like Westover Hills, right, and chase everybody else out of town? So I just wanted to lodge those concerns. Thank you.
Let me discuss something with you here. They were wanting to build lesser houses. They were wanting to put 26 houses in.
No, I get that.
So we fought hard to not do that because we don't want what's happened in other neighborhoods. This property was going to be developed. My fear always was it was going to wind up apartments or something. You know, everybody's building the high end stuff. Sooner or later, they're going to look for someplace else to build the low end stuff. And I'm glad to see a piece of property built. Is it perfect to what I wanted to see there? No. But the end result, we kind of all came together for this, for what they had finally proposed. And I think it's the best current use we could do for this property, and it blocks something that most of these citizens in the city don't want.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, and trust me, my properties went way up more than double since I've been here, so I know what you're saying there. But yeah, we need tax dollars, but I promise you, we didn't chase tax dollars because we could have accepted their first deal, and there'd be 26 houses.
So I understand that. I don't want to take anything away from anybody. I'm sure we're all, you know, decent folk here. I have no question about that, but it's just the concern that it seems very sudden. We're working on condemning other properties, or they're being listed as substandard. And, you know, we look down at the River District, like you're saying, where they're building giant apartment complexes. It gets really concerning as a property
coming our way.
Well, that's a double-edged sword, too, right? Because that could very well happen if we turn these nice folks down.
And just to kind of speak to that, all the properties that are near here that are listed up in the substandard list, staff has actually been working those for years. This property, because of the litigation between the church factions, was kind of in limbo for, 12 years? So whenever my understanding is whenever the church, the settlements or final judgment was rendered on that, that's what basically accelerated the owner as far as trying to sell it. So, yeah, that's certainly, but certainly, like I said, those are valid concerns, and we appreciate it.
The Black Oak property's been on the list for 6 years, or longer than that.
Various, yes. Okay, do we have anyone else that would like to speak for or against this item? Okay. And I am going to ask momentarily that the Mayor Pro Tem would please take over the meeting. I have to step out of the room for just a moment to call and tell my daughter good night. So I'll be right back.
You're ready.
All right. Charles Durden, live at 6040 Walnut Drive. I agree about property taxes. Mine went up 10% every year for 14 years in a row. Somehow, the city of Fort Worth now tells me that they want to raise my tax rate, which I found fascinating choice. This year, it only went up because I protested very heavily last year. It went up 7%. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. You can't even protest that part. So I understand about property values going up, but I agree something was going to be developed on that property once it became free. Not sure I love everything about this, but we do want to reiterate again, biggest concerns for those of us in the neighborhood are traffic and a whole lot about water drainage. Right now that's 4 acres of grass and trees, and when it rains really hard, like it did August 1st, I presented some pictures of the planning and zoning mission, and I believe I presented it before. And the water that was coming off of there on August 1st after just probably a microburst type downpour, completely flooded that end of Black Oak. And all of a sudden you're going to have concrete, driveways, sidewalks, roofs, instead of grass and trees absorbing that. And so that water's going to come down it's going to come down as a raging flood on Black Oak right down there. And it already seems like it's taxed to the max with what's been there. So we want to make sure that drainage is addressed here and that traffic's addressed here. It's not hard to imagine that with $400,000 houses, even if the nice couple that buys it today, let's just call them yuppies for the sake of saying something, aren't gonna build a family that's gonna fill all those bedrooms in. So if you have 80 bedrooms, you're gonna have 80 cars. That's just the way it is, if you don't have 90. So, traffic in and out of that street, on that corner, is gonna be something that's really gonna need to be addressed right straight up front, and we hope that the city will follow through and control the two items in the initial plans to build. So,
One thing I hope all the people do, they plant better grass than what's there right now. Now, you're talking about, there's not a whole lot of grass top of water right now.
Well, I mean, you know, it's, that end of the street it's always run like a river down there, because the two drains are at the end of the street, right at the end of the J, at the curl, right where it stops sign. So, to expect all that water to keep flowing to those two drains and eventually go downstream to the river is, I don't see how it's gonna happen if we keep adding roofs and, paving in that area, so.
Address that, my understanding in this plan, though, the city is gonna require not only a traffic engineer to design that road, but also, an engineer for the water,
Well, we sure wanna see Sam Calloway going out to 183 to become a drag strip. And, I mean, we already have the GIs who, they sometimes let fly.
I'm a drag racer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, we kinda have the stoplight Grand Prix down there sometimes with the back gate. So, hasn't been too bad lately, but I believe they're doing some construction sometime, we've got it blocked off right now, so. But at some point, that's gonna be open again, all this other stuff is gonna be going in, and, it's just getting busier on a street that was designed in the 40s to handle, you know, 4 Packards and a 55 Chevy. You know, so, we just need to pay attention to the traffic that's there. Don't wanna see what's happened at, where the apartments are, and the Roberts Cutoff and White Settlement Road, where the builders allow to build right off to the edge, and now there's no way to make a right-hand turn onto that. And the builder's ideal was get the guy across the street to get the line for the traffic later. I got mine. We don't want to see that in this situation. No offense to you guys, I mean, I know that you're doing the best you can, but I want to be able to live in this neighborhood after it's done, and I plan to live here a long time. So, thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Is anyone else who'd like to speak during the public hearing?
Careful addressing the traffic, they just want to put a roundabout in.
Oh, you would say that.
Evil word.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard with Niagara Falls. What's that? We can all march up to Niagara Falls and have one. Don't say that word.
Put a roundabout in, that's the answer nowadays to all traffic problems.
Don't do
I
it.
think it's a great project, and I'm so grateful that that they brought this project to us and this opportunity. Like everybody's mentioned, something's gonna come there. You know, that property could have been built into houses many years ago as it lines up with the rest of the neighborhood. You know, the big plot of land with a single church in it didn't really line up with the neighborhood either. We've got to get more development, people talking about taxes, people are moving in to the Metroplex, as you all know, property values are shooting up because of the people moving in from out of state for property who are at the lowest values, you know, in the nation for years and years. That's all happening, you know, no matter what happens. But to me, the way to look at that is the more the property values go up, first of all, that's the biggest value most people have. That investment that they make is in their property. So for them to go up, I think is a blessing. And there's, quite frankly, been houses that have gone down in value and gone down in condition. I think we've suffered some development in the commercial sector because of that, and I think we need some more of this. We've been told by consultants over and over again that we need younger demographics, attract more businesses. We have more businesses.